nice win for us. We obviously got off to a really slow start. They came out with a lot of energy, and they were out working us to start the game. But fortunately, we picked it up. I thought when we put Pow Pow in, it just had a different energy about us. Good second quarter to take the lead going into the half. Really good third quarter to kind of extend the lead, and fortunately, we were able to close it out with a win.
Coach, we saw 43 combined turnovers. I think both teams tied their season high. What was it about the game for both teams? Was it kind of the defense causing it? Was just kind of like sloppy offense?
Well, I think both teams put a lot of pressure on the ball. So, obviously neither team is going to be happy with how many times they turned it over. For us, a lot of those turnovers were early in the first quarter. I think we weren't quite ready for the amount of pressure they were going to put on us. And by the time we got adjusted to it, once we got adjusted to it, I thought we got a lot of good shots. Obviously, we ended up scoring a lot of points. We do have to be a little better with some of our they have good length, they have good athleticism, so a pass that you think there's just enough room to get there, there really isn't enough room to get there because they close out or close those gaps so quickly. So you just have to be really solid with your decision making. After the first quarter, I mean, we still had turnovers, but we had a lot of good shots and a lot of good ball movement and a lot of people contributing. So really happy with particularly the last 3 quarters of the game.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the connection between.
Did somebody steal your seat?
Yeah, man, it happens. I can't. I tried to switch it up for you. That's all.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. But no, I wanted to ask you about the connection between Jordan and Bree. They seem to have this like almost telepathic connection right underneath the basket. What have you noticed about what makes their relationship so special when they're on the court?
I think they're both really good players, and obviously that's a really tough situation for defenders to be in, especially off a ball screen. It's you wouldn't want to switch that. So if Bree sets a really good screen and JC can start creating some space off the ball screen, and we get a good roll, it makes it tough. And I think JC knows that. That's an opportunity for her to get an easy assist. JC looks for in transition, looks for the post ups on throwbacks and things like that. So I think JC's a smart player and knows that we have a great post player in Bree and that she needs her touches, so she keeps her involved in the game.
Coach, you mentioned the adjustment, like there was an adjustment that happened, and once the adjustment occurred, then we saw something different on the court. In particular, in your opinion, what was the adjustment from you?
I thought we started to play harder. This wasn't like we dramatically changed strategy, just the energy changed. And I give Pow Pow a lot of credit for that. I thought when she came in, the pace picked up. All of a sudden, we got out in transition. We got a couple easier baskets in transition, and suddenly our defensive intensity picked up. That led to forcing turnovers, which gave us more opportunities in transition, which also got the crowd involved. So, I just thought we've been playing well, and kind of human nature. You think, oh, we'll just come out here and play well. No, you played well because of how hard you were playing. And if you're not going to play that hard, you're not going to play well. And I think it kind of kicked in for us, and we kind of looked like ourselves after the first quarter.
Bree had a big night tonight, big game tonight. Could you talk about her just performance and how proud of you?
Yeah, she's a fantastic player. She's got great footwork in there in the post. She gets deep steals for us. Knockdown 3. I mean, she does it all. I think, what was she, 9 of 10? Something like that. Super efficient. She gets super deep post ups, and she works to get good shots in there. She's just a great player, and fortunately we got her the ball enough to have that kind of night.
Coach, having both Jordan and Pow Pow on the floor, what does that do for your offense?
Well, it makes us pretty quick, and the addition of Pow Pow adds another shooter out there that you have to pay a lot of attention to, which creates more space for a Bree, or we were able to drive some and get to the rim too. So I think there's some benefits as long as we can have some good matchups on the other end. It's something that we definitely want to explore more, having both of them play together.
Coach, it's always next player up, and how important was it even tonight having 5 players in double figures?
Well, we needed a lot of people to contribute, especially when we, got behind. And, I think, I don't know, we were maybe 7 minutes. I misremember a lot of these things, but it seemed like the first 5-6 minutes, Leash was the only one who scored for us. Like, I don't remember anybody else scoring, So she kind of kept us in it at the beginning, and then all of a sudden everybody started contributing, and we started to have energy, and the ball was moving, and it was just a lot more I would assume it was a lot more fun to watch than that first part of the game.
Coach, you talk about your bench and all of your players playing to the end. You get Nia Coffey, who finished with 15 points, but 10 points specifically in that fourth quarter. Could you talk about a little bit what you were seeing from her and how beneficial that was to close the game?
Yeah, obviously with BG out, she's going to be in the rotation and play more minutes, and I thought she did a really good job with it. She looked for an opportunity to aggressively attack the basket. She played good defense. Then, she's a good shooter and hadn't shot the ball well recently, so to knock down those 2 threes, I think will be a really good feeling for her going forward. But I think she did a great job with the minutes that she was given and the opportunity.
Coach, this is a two-part question. This week was pretty jam-packed. You guys had a lot of games in the last 7 days, and we're like 1 basket away from going undefeated during that time. What was really the key to this week's success? And then the second part is you guys have a long road stretch against some top teams. What about this week gives you confidence heading into that stretch?
Well, that's a tough 2-part question because I'm not sure. I mean, we just have been playing well. There's not a lot of time between the games to work on a lot of things, so you just have a little bit of time to go over some key points that you want to emphasize for any particular game, and I think our players have been pretty locked into what we want to get accomplished, and they've been playing great. Now we've got, 2 solid weeks on the road. I don't know how often that happens in the W, but that's what's in front of us right now. But we've played well on the road as of late, so hopefully we get a little bit of rest tomorrow. We come back in, try to get prepared for the next game, and it's cliche, but you got 1 game in front of you. You get ready for that game, and then after the game, it's like, oh yeah, we got another one in 2 days, and you try to get everybody healthy, rested, and then still prepared for the key points in the game.
With a win like this, what do you say that it does for the team's confidence?
I do think there's something about, when another team has a significant lead and you come back, at least when it happens again, you've been in that position before, and if you start doing things the right way, you at least have an opportunity to get back in the game. So, every situation is a learning experience. Hopefully we learned a couple things. One, you better be ready to go from the jump. There's too many good players in this league on all these teams, and if you're not ready, you're going to dig yourself a hole. 2, you just got to keep playing. Usually the biggest adjustment that needs to be made is just, play a little bit harder and more together. And, I thought we did a good job of that today.